there you are. It's the backfield. Like, Brandon's got to be here somewhere.
Okay, so we are going to get started. Welcome. I don't know how many of you have had any involvement with Free Indeed before, or what you know about it. But Free Indeed is a ministry that's geared towards helping people that are in some form or another dealing with same-sex attraction. They do have meetings here. They have meetings over in Redmond where they work with people on these types of issues. They usually do, I believe the other one is the Redmond one on Tuesday nights.
Yeah, Tuesday
nights, Thursday nights here, and then they have a website with all kinds of information and things that you can also read and follow up on. So their desire is to be a resource to help people, both that are in that lifestyle or dealing with those issues, and also people that are just connected to others that are. So we're going to get into topics tonight. This is as John says, an adult conversation. So we are going to get right into the thick of the whole conversation on these issues. One thing that you'll notice, and the goal is to get through all of the questions. If for some reason we don't get through every question tonight, that's okay. They will be answered. John will answer every question on their website. And so if we don't get to the question that you send in, other than John, why didn't you wear a different tie or something like that? Anything dealing with the topic, then John will respond to that and get back to that, and so you don't have to worry about whether or not you'll have a place there. So this is what we're doing. It says right here on the slide, it says you have my permission to ask serious adult questions. And what does that mean? That means that there's nothing that's going through your head that's offensive or wrong to ask. So it's a question that you have dealing with a real life issue, one of the hottest topics that we're dealing with in our culture right now, and it's better to ask the question and then hear an answer to it than it is just to have it roll around in your head and be like, oh, I should never ask that. Just ask. If it's a personal question, if it's about you or if it's about somebody you know.
It's anonymous.
It's anonymous, so you don't have to worry about, he's not going to go, so, looks like Matt asked me. They're just going to ask an anonymous question, and so, you can feel free to ask whatever you want to ask as well. So with that, I am going to have Brandon come up, and he's going to share for just a minute. And then Brandon works with John in Free Indeed. Actually works with mainly focuses on working with the youth. And so there's a big passion of his heart as well. So he's going to share a little bit about himself and about Free Indeed. And then we'll have a couple other things to do, and then John will be out shortly.
So, yeah, my name is Brandon. And like Andy was saying, I do the youth group side of things. I mainly deal with college age down to about middle school. See, I got involved in this. I met John at a men's Bible study at Redmond Community Church about 2.5 years ago. It's crazy to think that we've already been doing this almost 3 years. And we quickly just developed a friendship, a mentor type of friendship. And I just understood something about this guy. I was like, I've never seen somebody who understood the Lord like this guy. And it was really awesome because I just saw the Lord in him before I knew anything about him. And eventually the question came up because we started talking about same-sex attraction and this vision that he had for a ministry. And I was like, well, are you attracted to the same sex? And he goes, well, yeah. And as he said, I didn't run away. So we remained friends. I'm not attracted to the same sex. And so what the Lord did through this friendship and through just moving us forward is I understand how to explain things, and I understand the mindset from the straight perspective. And he understands and explains things from the same-sex attracted mind perspective. And so you get a full, well-rounded view as to exactly what's going on. You're saying this, he's hearing this, this is the disconnect in communication, this is what needs to change, these types of things. And before I knew it, we were doing these meetings on Tuesday nights, and I was learning more than I ever thought that I would, just by hanging out with this guy and getting to know more about the Lord and His grace. And pretty soon, it was just like we were going to churches and we were getting calls from people. We started a website, and just the Lord started opening up all these doors to people who were saying, I cannot believe that you understand what I'm going through. This is incredible. I just got back from a conservative Bible school called Ecola in Cannon Beach. Yeah, be jealous. I went to school in Cannon Beach. It was nice. 1 block away from the beach. Sand. And there were several people there who I announced at the beginning of the class and throughout, like, hey, if you know anybody, or if you have anyone who has issues or struggles with anything like this, then feel free to come and ask me, and I'll try and answer your questions the best as I can. And there were a lot of people who were there who knew the Lord and who were dealing with same-sex attraction and were dealing with very deep, self-hating thoughts. And how could God possibly love me? They're sitting in Bible school being told that God loves them, studying the Word, and still not understanding that God loves them and that Christ has nothing but grace for them. And so, what I do with the youth group at RCC, with youth groups that I've spoken at before, I've spoken at the youth summit here, it's called Prepare the Way. That was really fun. And just across the board, kids need to know how to deal with these issues. They need to know how to understand God through all this, and they need to understand how God sees them personally and how God sees their friends. And it's just been a privilege and an honor to get to do that over the last couple of years, and to learn and grow through my own, weird mental struggles that I'm sure everyone has, with the voices that pound you against the side of the head that say,
quit. Stop. You're not doing any good.
But the Lord has just been relentless in saying, no, keep going. I have a plan for this and for everything that you're doing. And this summer, we're starting a youth program where people, churched or unchurched, gay, straight, whatever, creating a safe environment for people to come and, I think the direction we're taking is for them to play music. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words. And to learn about the Lord, and for the people who already know the Lord to take them further into discipleship itself. Not just to give them a nice, sweet message, teach you a couple chords, and send you on your way. We at Free Need, and my passion especially, is to make sure that we're training the future leaders and champions of God's grace for the future, for everyone who needs to know Him and know His grace. And like John says, you take the kids, I'll take the adults. It's like, you know what, I'm okay with that. That's all I got. Oh, by the way, John told me to do this. There's material underneath the rows at the ends of the seats. Y'all can take that and pass it down right under your seat. Let's make sure everyone gets a little package that's held together with a paper clip.
Yeah, so those packets will have some information in there for you guys, and also to take home. So what are we going to actually talk about tonight when John does come out? So we're going to talk about several different topics specifically. John's going to talk about himself a little bit, who he is, and kind of his life, what he's been through. And then also in some detail about really who Free Indeed is and what their real mission is and their goal, getting into more specifics. He's also going to get into same-sex attraction versus homosexuality, and what is the difference, and being able to really lay that out. He's going to get, pretty deep into these things, so you will have a lot of opportunity to learn some things. What's happening in our culture, and then how can we reach people that are in this lifestyle or they're dealing with these issues. And, I just encourage you to take notes and to really, engage with the listening, with asking questions. I know I was at my chiropractor today, and just the most random thing, and on today too, because he didn't even know about this, but I'm in there, so I get adjusted, and then we go back to look at my x-rays, and I'm back there, it's just me and him in the room, and he shuts the door, and he says, "Can I ask you a question?" And I said, "Yeah." "Well, yeah, go ahead." And he says, I figure he's going to ask me if I'm lifting couches over my head, or, what type of thing I'm doing, that's against the rules. And he says, "What's your church's stance on same-sex marriage and on those issues?" I was like I'm just in a chiropractor's office. I'm like, "Well, funny you should ask. We're actually having a whole meeting on that tonight." So I invited him, but he couldn't make it. But it is such a constant topic or an issue. It's on TV shows. The kids are hearing about it in school. If you're a parent, this isn't a conversation you should run from, because if you run from it, guess what? It doesn't mean that they're not hearing about it. They are. So you might as well engage it, learn what to share, learn how to deal with those topics so that your child is able to move forward and be able to be equipped in their schools.